Welcome everybody to this channel. This is a video I was intending to do earlier in the year, but things just got a little lost in things. But I've always thought about how it might be kind of fun to do like a little bit of a 2024 like recap video. I've seen a lot of other people do it. And yeah, 2024 was like a really weird year for me, for sure. There were a lot of ups and downs, but then there was also a lot of just like points of time where it's just like a lot of just like stagnation too. You know, it was very weird. I'm trying to have this year be a little better for me, but that doesn't mean that I didn't experience some cool stuff in 2024. And I just wanted to talk about some of these things, because some of these things I experienced on my own. Some are things that I did on stream. Some are and everything in between. So I wanted to try doing one of them right now. And I've tried recording this in the past, but I wasn't doing good at it. So I thought that something that could help me with it would be a PowerPoint presentation, I do declare. Nate's favorite things he experienced in 2024. First off, we're gonna go through some honorable mentions. I'm doing a top 10 here, but this is more like a top 20, but the bottom 20 are in no particular order. I actually literally don't even remember what order I put them in on the slide, so this is all gonna come as a surprise. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I would say is one of my favorite things that I experienced or did, stuff that I liked in 2024, is Street Fighter 6 / my fighting game Hitbox. I would have put this higher, but this was really something that I did mainly in 2023. Street Fighter 6 was my game of the year in 2023, so I didn't want to put it on the top 10 as well, but I wanted to at least mention it because I played a heck of a lot of Street Fighter 6 in the past year. It is such a good game. It is such a good fighting game. I mean, I'm still fairly new to fighting games, and a lot of this is because of the modern controls for sure. But I still love Street Fighter 6. I need to get back into it some more. Akuma was doing a lot of Akuma last year, you know? That he was one of my favorite characters. Like him and Jamie are like my main two right now. I haven't done many of the newer characters yet, but if I go back, you know, I'll definitely be doing more Akuma for sure. I like it so much that I actually went and bought a good old fighting stick, a good old hitbox, you know? Looked around and, you know, picked the one I liked the most. And yeah, I am terrible at Street Fighter with this hitbox, you know? Very much better on controller than I am with this. But there's some other games that I played with this, you know? Been playing a little Skullgirls, playing some other games, you know, waiting for some other new games to come out too that I want to try out with this. But yeah, no, this is a nice little thing right here. One of my favorite things that I bought last year. For sure. It's just nice, just punching those buttons and getting some good combos in. Terrible at doing that in Street Fighter, but other games I'm trying to do it better with too, you know? Still working on it, I told myself I was gonna be careful. It doesn't matter though, because I won! I'm a winner! What I get? Bronze! Oh, what? I got bronze? Not even a rookie, with not even iron. We went all the way up to bronze, I do declare. That's what I'm talking about. Lily Main. Am I a Lily Main now? Oh, I don't know. Next one is, Stick Season Forever by Noah Khan, the full album. Yeah, this is also another one actually that I would have put in my top 10, but it was more of a 2023 thing. Oh, that's a weird trend, but I'm pretty sure these are the only two that it ended up being this trend with. But technically I listened to most of this in 2023, but technically the final version of this came out in 2024 because there were 3 different versions of the albums, and this is the definitive version with all of the extra songs and then songs with other people in them, like the remixed versions. And this is one of my favorite albums of all time. It was my top listened to album this year for sure. I'm pretty sure, you know, 2 years in a row, which is crazy. But you know, Stick Season, Dial Drunk, All My Love, Paul Revere. So many good songs, you know. They get me tearing up in the car lots of times, you know. He's a very good musician, you know. Good old folk songs and stuff, you know. Enjoyed a lot. Would have had this up higher, but this was more of a 2023 thing. So I kept it in the honorable mentions this time around. Next up, Movember of 2024. So every year in November, for the past 4 years, I've done a charity month where I partner with the Association Movember. They do things for men's health, both mental and physical. You know, they do things with like mental health, but then they also help with research for things like prostate cancer and testicular cancer. You know, it's a very good organization. And every year I do these streams where I raise money for them, and then I have a bunch of like silly rewards and milestones and stuff like that. And in 2024, it was a good year. It was our highest one ever, actually. We made over $600 last year, and it was like absolutely incredible. I did not think I was going to make that much this year. I kept it at much lower in terms of what I thought I was going to get, and then I was definitely blown away, you know. So very, very kind thanks to everyone who donated last time in November. I'll actually try and redeem all the milestones this year. All right, next up on the honorable mentions, For the King 2. This is a video game that I played off stream with my friends pretty much every Monday. We started this like around January or February of 2024, and we played all the way up until pretty much December, every single Monday, you know, every Monday with friends for the entire year. You know, took that long for us to beat. You know, it's just like a little co-op, turn-based RPG where you go through dungeons and you walk on an overworld and you level up your character, and then you go through like an adventure and then you start over, and a lot of that. It was, you know, a fun social experience, just playing like together with the same group of friends every time. So For the King 2, fun to play if you have a good group of friends.
Nate!
What?
Nate!
I got it. Why are you making me spin the wheels?
No!
Nate, pay attention.
I didn't have my headphones in. I was gone.
This is fine. Excuse
Excuse me.
Fine. Everything's fine.
What do you want from me?
Everything's fine. Everything is absolutely fine.
We're all fine. Only one guy's gonna get cursed anyways. Oh, next we got the Twisters movie. Yeah, so I did not watch a lot of movies last year that I realized. Like, I feel like that last year is the least amount of movies I saw in theaters somehow. I don't know how that happened, but I guess as time goes by, I watch less movies. But I feel like the one movie I saw in theaters, I should go ahead and put on the list anyways. It was all right. I don't know actually why I have it on the list. Actually, why I have it on the list is because the main character was a YouTube streamer from Arkansas with the big red truck that wears a white cowboy hat. Finally, people like me are getting representation in film. So that's why I feel like I had to put this on the list. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. But look at this guy. He's cool. He's just like me, you know? He's so me. All right, next on the list, the Crunch Burger at the Atlanta airport. So the Crunch Burger, it is a burger that you get at like some like Bobby Flay restaurant at one of the gates near one of the wings at the Atlanta airport, which is just hell on earth. You know, if you know, you know. Not an enjoyable place to be, but in all the places, you know, they got this one Bobby Flay restaurant, and they got these Crunch Burgers. It was like $11, which is like crazy for an airport burger. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The way that they prepared it, it was cooked at like the right amount of time, and whatever cheese they had on it was excellent. They put like chips on it, which is why they call it a Crunch Burger, but that wasn't the reason it was good. It was just because the actual meat itself and then the buns they were on were so good. The fries were good too. Accidentally spent way too much on the drinks there. You know, they can get you bad there, but boy howdy, that almost made flying into Atlanta completely worth it. Like, if I have to fly into Atlanta again, I would definitely recommend going and getting that Crunch Burger at the airport. Maybe there's Crunch Burgers elsewhere in the world, but I knew it was good at the airport at least. You know, enough to make it onto my honorable mentions of 2024. Next up is actually a YouTube channel that I've been watching a lot. I watched a lot of YouTube. I watched a lot of slop on YouTube this year, if I'm being honest. But one channel that I did watch is called Legends of Evantris. You've probably seen like their animated like TikToks and shorts and stuff. They're like a D&D channel. They do like actual plays and stuff. They have like a couple different series. A lot of them are comedic, but a lot of them aren't. And a lot of them are just serious too. So they have a good range of things, but it's definitely my most watched channel this year, or at least of ones I like that aren't just like slop channels. You know, and it's probably the most I've laughed this year watching all of their series, because they do a lot of like improv heavy D&D series, and I definitely would recommend giving them a watch, giving them more than just their shorts a watch, because their actual like full length series are really, really good too. So, and they have a lot of good serious stuff alongside their funny stuff, and they have a lot of good like streams where they give out good D&D advice and stuff like that too. So Legends of Vantress, definitely recommend them. Next, we got My Hero Academia, the manga. You know, I probably didn't expect this on the list too. You know, I read all of My Hero in 2024 because I heard that it was ending this year. So I was like, I should probably get on that, and I got on that, and it is a very good series. I'd been following it, and I'd read a good amount of it like years and years ago, and I've always like kind of been caught up, like even before I even started reading One Piece. And I've always like enjoyed it too, but then like actually like getting into it and like binge reading all of it, I really enjoy it. The overhaul arc, season 4, that's the best arc for sure. You know, Eri, one of my favorite characters. You know, some of the chapters with her in it are like so good. And then I think the ending is dope. I think it's solid. A lot of people are like, no, it's bad. And I'm like, y'all are dumb. There's a lot of dumb people who who were reading this when it came out, who just had the worst takes ever. And I was reading them, and I was like, what are you talking about? This perfectly all makes sense and is a good ending, and people are just crazy. So I would definitely give My Hero Academia a shot for sure. I don't know if the anime is finished yet. I feel like it's really close to be, if not. I would definitely recommend reading it because it is gorgeous, by the way. Like, the actual illustrations in it are, like top of the line. Very, very good. So definitely recommend some My Hero Academia, of all things, you know. Call me a weeb, but I like my Deku boy. Well, up next on the list, I think this is my last honorable mention. This one coming in, you know, kind of close because it was like right in December and then like this past January, but I'm putting Marvel Rivals on the list. You know, it's just a good old fun old game, I do declare. It's an Overwatch-like, you know, team hero shooter, and I've been playing a lot of it in December and the past month in January, and it's just been a lot of fun, just like playing a game with like that like a bunch of friends are into, you know, being able to actually like squad up with like 5 to 6 people, you know, being in a call, you know, doing that, you know, it's hard to have a game, you know, where everyone just like agrees like, oh, let's just all play this together. You know, there's always just like, oh, everyone wants to play different things, but like, you know, for a little bit here, you know, Marvel Rivals is like a game where it's like, okay, no, we're all vibing with this, you know, and that's good. You know, Jeff is best boy, best healer boy. Squirrel Girl, best girl. That's my main. We love her. Look at her. She's amazing. Oh, we have one more honorable mention. That's salami. I never grew up with salami. I tried salami. Salami is good. Eat salami. Salami is good. I don't know if anyone needs to be told that today, but I wish someone told me this earlier in my life. All right. At number 10, we got Trigun. I told you there's going to be some old stuff on this too. Trigun is an older anime from the 90s. It's based on a manga, but I haven't read it. I just watched it. You know, it's only 20 or so episodes, but oh boy, I just fell in love with it real quick. It has the coolest looking main character ever. Vash, the Stampede, is the coolest guy ever. The red trench coat, the hair, the glasses, and with the big guns and stuff. He's so cool. He's just cool to look at. I like the aesthetic of it. It's just nice classic anime vibes, you know? I watched the dub of it, and I enjoy the dub. I like good old-fashioned 90s anime dub. The first half of it is actually like pretty goofy, and it's like there's like some cool action scenes, but it's like you're kind of noticing like, this is like kind of not all that violent for the world that it is perceiving right now. But around like the halfway point of the show, which is like only like 11 or 12 episodes in, it takes a big swerve. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything else, but I'll just say that it takes a big swerve in the middle of the show, like our main character, he does a thing with his arm, and then when he does the thing with his arm, it's like, oh, we're watching a different show now, aren't we? And it's just so good all the way through. I love it so much. If you can, I watch it on Disney Plus at the time, or on Hulu, but if you're able to, give Trigun a shot. Number 9 on the list is, well, ain't that special? Ain't that just something? Since we just finished it today, and it's number 8 on my list. I think that now that I've finished Red Dead 1, I think that it makes sense that this is on my number 8. But number 8 is my PlayStation 3, and in parentheses, specifically Red Dead Redemption 1. You know, I have not been able to play my PlayStation 3 since about 2018 was the last time I played it. It's been with my older brother for a while, and, you know, I've had my PS4 and other things too for the past little bit. So it's been a while since I've actually been able to play any of these games, you know, actually do stuff on my PS3. But I was able to get it recently, and I spent a lot of time and a little bit of money getting it to actually work on my computer and be able to actually stream it. And it is very nice being able to get in all that again, being able to touch this nice controller. I love the PlayStation 3 controller. It's still so nice and nostalgic for me. Right in like the middle way, because I'm nostalgic for like PlayStation 2 games too, because I played a lot of that before. I have way more PlayStation 2 games than I do PlayStation 3 games, but there's something about that point in my life where I was playing the PlayStation 3, playing all these open world games, playing, you know, getting the Call of Duty game every single year, playing the Batman games, the Infamous games, Red Dead Redemption 1, obviously, that we just finished tonight. And the fact that I'm just able to have that back, and I'm actually able to go back to some of these things now, it just makes me so happy. For number 8 on my best of 2024 list is The Longest Johns. The Longest Johns, they're a band from the UK. They're known for a lot of their sea shanties. You know, if you heard Wellerman back in the day when it was getting big on TikTok, you know, that's them. You can't beat some good old sea shanties, you know. I've listened to like a couple of their songs and works, and I've liked them like kinda, but this past year I decided I was gonna like listen to a lot of their albums, you know, some of their older ones and their newer ones, and I mean, I'm just falling in love with like all their whole discography. They came out with 2 albums this year. They came out with Voyager the earlier parts of the year, and then they came out with Continent Volume 1 just a couple months ago, and both of them are very, very good albums. I've listened to them in the car almost as much as I have Noah Khan at this point. Like, they've been my main thing for the past couple of months. If you like some just good old rowdy acapella music, you know, to sing along in the car or wherever else, you know, these are the guys to do it with, you know. So check out The Longest Johns on whatever platform you prefer listening music to. For number 7 on my list of favorite things from 2024 that I experienced or did or whatever is Paths to the Stars. What is Paths to the Stars, you may ask? It is a D&D actual play that I streamed over on my YouTube channel in 2023 and 2024. It is a game that my good friend Ralphie, he was the dungeon master for, and it was my very first time ever playing through a campaign in Dungeons & Dragons. I was this guy right here. I was the White Dragonborn. He's cool. His name is Narnat. He's epic. As a first experience doing an actual play of streaming a Dungeons & Dragons game, this is a very important thing to me for sure. Leveling up my character, you know, going on, you know, to the D&D website, seeing like how my subclass and my classes level up each time, knowing, you know, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to pick, what weapons I'm going to pick, you know, stuff like that. Making notes, writing notes for all the things that happen, uncovering the mysteries of the world that we're in, you know, remembering the names of all the people and what's going on and all that. You know, I love it. I loved it. Certainly wasn't perfect, but it is a very, very important experience for me. There were certain plot reveals that our Dungeon Master had that like legit had me like thinking for like days on end on like, okay, this connects to this connects to this. Okay, he said this, he said that. I need to go back, you know, 10 sessions ago to see what this person has said. You know, I was deep into this for sure, you know. So very, very important experience for me. It ended in this past summer, and man, I've been wanting to go back to it eventually, you know. It did end a little bit early. Maybe we'll see a return to it someday in another form, but that's not up to me. But, you know, fingers crossed on that. All of the sessions you can actually find on my YouTube channel. They're on one big playlist. So if you ever want to watch some goofy shenanigans, give that a check. Give that a good old check out. For number 6 on our 2024 experiences, we got, you know it, we got good old Balatro, baby. This is my personal game of the year. You know, it was up there at the Game Awards. Didn't win, sadly, but you know, in my heart, it won. Balatro is a roguelite poker game where you get jokers that do different things. You know, different multipliers for all the chips that you get in the hands that you play, and it is awesome. I love Balatro. I've put so much time into the Balatro. I've bought it twice, both on my PC and on my phone, and at this point, I've probably played it on my phone more than I have my PC at this point, which is crazy. It is so addicting. It is so fun, just like moving cards around and all that. It actually taught me what all the hands mean in poker. I did not really know how to play poker until I played this, which is not the same game as poker, but playing this game helped me learn all of the hands, so now I know how to play poker. But man, when you're in a good run and you just have the right cards and the right deck, and you just get like some specific hands with the multipliers, and then it just like pop, 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 pop on everything up at the top, and it's just like you're just seeing that number go up and up and up and up, and it's just like, oh man, it's so nice. How am I ever gonna lose? But then you eventually lose, and it's so sad, and you got to start over, and then the cycle just continues onwards and onwards forever. But holy moly, if you haven't, I'm sure you've heard of it, but at this point, if you haven't played Balatro, go play Balatro. It is this high onto my list, so I would definitely go check it out. We are entering the top 5. What is number 5 on the list? Is Jujutsu Kaisen. This might be one of my new favorite animes since One Piece. Like, it's just, you know, when you first watch it, the first couple of episodes, you're just like, okay, it's like a nice, generic, you know, shonen anime. You know, I've seen these. You know, you got the group of 3 people. You know, you got the rivals. You got the crazy magic system and stuff. You know, but it's got like really, really good animation though. So that's what's like holding it up, and that's how it feels for like the first little bit. But then you just get into a couple of other arcs, and you meet some specific people, and then some certain antagonists come out, and then certain things just start happening in it, and then you just start realizing like, oh no, there is something special about this anime. Like at first, the main character Yuji, I was like okay with, but then certain things happen about halfway into season 1, and he says some things and makes some faces that are so cool and just gave me crazy Luffy vibes, where it's just like, oh no, I would die for you, Yuji. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. It's the best. And then it's against this one villain named Megumi. You know, he's got like this patch face. Like if you know, you know. But he is one of my favorite like villains, like in like any piece of media now. Like he is like, it is just crazy how much, like, for one, like the animation on him and the voice acting and like the just terrible stuff that he does is just like captivating. Like he has like the most punchable face in like any anime villain that I've ever seen. It is crazy like how much like I was invested into Yuji just punching him real good. And then season 2 is like even better than season 1. It's crazy. Like I'm sure you've heard of the Shibuya incident, but if you have, if you know, you know. And I thought I was going to end at that, but I ended up just reading the rest of it after finishing the anime. And the rest of the manga is very, very good too. You lose a little bit from, it not being an anime anymore, not being animated. For sure, especially if you go back to like older manga stuff and you're like, oh boy, they took some creative liberties with this. But even without that, seeing it from the manga first before seeing it adapted, I'm like, oh no, this is really good. There are certain characters that have not been, shown, or things that have happened in the manga that haven't happened in the anime yet that are, so good. It ended this past year. I think the ending is good. It's like slightly rushed, but I don't think that detracts it all too much. I think that it did what it needed to do, and that it ended at a pretty good time. It probably could have gotten like a little bit more, but I think it ended at a okay enough time. Go watch Jujutsu Kaisen. It's very good. Oh, what's that? Who's that? No. Get off that. We'll talk about him another time. Okay, I'll give you a teaser now. This guy's name is Toto, and he's the best character ever. Like, he's maybe like one of my new favorite anime characters, like, ever. In any series ever. It's like every single time he does literally anything, it's literally the best thing ever. Like, in the anime and in the manga. Like every single time he shows up, part of me is like dreading it almost, of like, oh no, he's perfect. But what if he does something that makes him not perfect when he shows up again the next time? But then he does something really freaking cool the next time, and then that happens again and again, and it's just like, oh, he's just the best. He's just the best. Coming in at number 4 for my favorite things I have experienced in 2024 is some just good old-fashioned poker, It's crazy that I have this above Balatro. What I'll say about Balatro is that once you get to some of the higher stakes, it starts getting a lot harder, and there's certain points where after just like a couple of runs in, you just get a feeling of just like, nah, this one ain't going anywhere, and you're just always just like resetting, and like sometimes it feels like, oh, if I'm not getting a good run right now, then I just don't want to play. I don't want to go through this whole thing at all. But what Balatro has taught me is that I just like poker. I've been getting to a little bit of Texas Hold'em, a little bit. And boy howdy, I like me some just good old-fashioned poker. I never knew how to play it until I played Balatro, so I'm very thankful to Balatro for that. But at this point, I think that like my interest has grown past Balatro just into poker itself. Now I just love learning the hands, for Texas Hold'em specifically right now. But I love learning the hands, the rates, the bluffing aspect, actually playing with other people and not just against, just the computer on Balatro is a very, very different experience. And the social aspect is a very huge part of it too. I've been starting a collection of decks, which has been fun in and of itself. I haven't had a thing to collect in a while, and decks of cards has been a fun one to start doing. I got dogs playing poker on my wall. I have 3 different dogs playing poker originals on my wall now. That's how much I like it. And also, it's helped me legitimately like connect with some old friends. I've been having poker nights with friends IRL, with some good old high school buddies, and that's been a good way for us to connect again after years of being apart. So, the social aspect of poker has been very, very helpful to me. It's a very important thing to me, poker is now. I like just being at a table with some chums, throwing cards at each other, seeing who's bluffing and stuff like that. If you don't know how to play poker, I suggest learning some poker because it's a very fun game. For the number 3 thing that I enjoyed the most in the year of 2024, it's Satisfactory. Satisfactory is a game that I have played before 2024, but I still played a heck of a lot of it earlier into this year, and a little bit in the later half of the year. I did a whole 12-hour stream of it, actually, and I love this game. Like, this goes more than just like a game of the year like Balatro is. Like, this is one of my favorite games of all time now. It's a game that I've spent some of the most time ever on. I think it is the most I've spent on a game this year. I did a lot of streaming of it, and then I did a lot of off-stream stuff with it earlier in the year. I played it technically in Update 8, but then I've played a good amount of it also after the official release as well. And it is such a good game. It is so addicting. It is so much fun just creating your factories, you know, just traversing the entire world, finding the nodes, doing the math both in and out of the game, some in your head, some on calculators and stuff, you know, actually like putting a lot of effort in to building these factories bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's still so much I have not done too in it. Like there's a certain point where I kind of get stuck in the game, and I would love to get past it. I've never gotten past it eventually. I've never gotten past trains, but there's still so much more of the game for me to explore too, and it's already one of my most played games ever. So it's crazy. I feel like I've only played half of the game, and it's one of my most played games ever. It's crazy, and it's just so satisfying. It is a gorgeous game. You know, people don't think about this game, they're like, oh yeah, it's a looker, but it is a looker. You know, there's a lot of lighting stuff you can do. You can like add your own lights to things and build your own factories and put lights around and stuff, and the lighting like engine they have in it is like so pretty. The sunsets in this game are so nice, and then the movement in this game, you know, is underrated. The sliding and jumping and the jetpacks and stuff, which is just an extra thing on top of all of the actual, you know, factory building stuff. But like even like the little things like that, the animations, all of this stuff like that, it just comes together into this perfect package. And I just can't say enough good things about Satisfactory. The vibes, the gameplay, you know, the building, the community, all of it is just indeed satisfying. All right, we're near the end. My number 2 favorite thing from 2024 is becoming a Bronco boy, baby. So, in 2024, at the beginning of it, around a year ago, I bought myself a Bronco Sport. It is the thing I spent the most money on by a far mile that year. So I feel like I kind of have to put it on the list at this point. It's the first time I've ever bought a new car. I've been driving the same big old red truck, which I still love. I still love it. But I've been driving it for about 12 years, you know. It's on its last legs. It's a gas guzzler. I just knew that around this time in my life, I definitely needed an upgrade. And I had been looking into Broncos for a while. Yeah, I mean, it's a complete life changer, you know, buying a new car. You know, it's nice being able to have lower gas prices than my usual big red truck, you know. And it's nice to drive places now. You know, I was never like super fond of driving my truck, you know, across the state on like big 12-hour trips, but now I'm more comfortable on doing that too. So I have a lot of more options of doing that. I did a big road trip with my brother back in November, going to Gatlinburg, going to Smoky Mountains, where we did an off-roading trip where we went into a Bronco and did a little off-roading exhibition, and that was really fun. I did a lot of footage of that. It's so nice driving a car that's not a 20 years old. You know, my last car was a 2002. Look at it. It's a beauty. Look at that. Look at that front thing. Look at this pretty boy right here sitting next to this pretty blue thing. I do declare it's a nice vehicle. I am glad that I bought it. Maybe I'm coping because I spent so much money on it and I have to say good things about it. But I do think that it has been that much of a difference in my life that I have to put this on my number 2 on my list. All right, we are here. On to my number 1 thing that I experienced in 2024, and that's St. Augustine. It's crazy that the number 1 thing on my list happened on the literal last week of 2024. But on Christmas Day, I left my family and packed my bags and flew all the way to Florida to hang out with my streamer friends. It's not something I take for granted for sure. And I gotta say, it was one of the best weeks ever. I always enjoy vacationing with my friends. We had a jam-packed week, hanging out, cooking, going places, going downtown, playing games, played a lot of board games, sang some songs, you know. On New Year's Eve, we went and did a party. We did some silent disco. We dressed up as crows, you know. We did a lot of fun stuff like that. We enjoyed each other's company a lot, and it is not something I take for granted. I very much enjoy spending time with my friends, and, you know, enough to where I put this on my #1 list of my favorite thing that I did in 2024, which was the last thing I did in 2024. A lot of the things in my top 10 list, I might actually make videos on specifically for themselves. So for at least some of them, but definitely for my #1 pick, because I have a lot of footage and I promised that I would make a vlog. So sometime eventually this year, I will make a nice Florida vlog detailing my experiences with my crazy Florida friends. Okay, that's the end. I hope you enjoyed. Listen to me rant and rave. I hope you enjoyed my little slideshow I made. Did y'all enjoy the little slideshow part? Because I might do more videos using the PowerPoints. So let me know in the comments if you enjoyed that video. If you listened to me talk about any of the things on this list, and you know, any of it sound interesting, like go check them out. You know, that's what I'm doing this video for, is, you know, these are my recommendations in life to check out, whether it be, you know, a video game or a car or salami or a vacation in Florida. Any of those things I highly recommend. So, you know, if any of those things tickle your fancy, check them out, and that will make me feel like I did a good job. We will see how 2025 ends up. I'm trying to make this a better year for myself, with more ups than downs, and hopefully not a lot of horizontals where nothing happens, because that's boring. No one wants to live a life like that. So we're going to see how that works out. And this is also going to be a year where I try and make more content on this YouTube channel. We're trying to pivot less off of Twitch and more on to YouTube. So that's what we're doing here. I did a lot of stuff last year on my YouTube. I'm really proud of it. You know, the Zelda stuff, the Dark Souls stuff, the Gang Beast video that I did, me starting up the One Piece videos, the One Piece reaction streams. You know, expect more of those. Expect more gaming stuff. I have a very big gaming video that I'm working on right now that I don't know if I will get out before or after I finish this video. So a lot of gaming videos. I have a lot of One Piece video ideas. And then I, of course, have a lot of IRL stuff too. A lot of more miscellaneous things I would like to make on this YouTube channel, like the vlogs and some other secret stuff that I have in my brain right now, but we'll see if I get to it eventually. But if you enjoyed this, or if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, like, comment, and subscribe, yada, 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 with all that. I don't care too much about that, but, you know, this is just like a little reminder for sure. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you around in the future. I do declare.